Collectibles, and today it is, well, it's Monday, so you know what that means. The other day, Mythical Mountain had their auction/claim sale, as they like to call it, and they had a lot of good stuff for this time around. Cole didn't get anything again last week, so once again, it's just moi again. So, let's, first of all, before we jump into the auction stuff, I'm just going to show you the one thing that I actually did get that wasn't a part of the auction, and that is this cool DC's Essentials Batgirl. It's the costume that she had for when she, it was during the New 52 of where she went to Burnside and had a costume change. This is actually the costume, this Batgirl is actually the reason I got into, reading DC Comics to begin with, so yeah, and I always loved the design, so yeah, I wanted to get this figure. So, let's jump into some of the comics that I got. Not too much of a big haul comparative to the last few weeks, so the first thing first that I got was the Dark Knight Returns. This is a Dark Knight Returns done by the legendary Frank Miller. This is kind of the story that brought Batman into the kind of how we know him today. Very dark, very gritty, and it's set during. This is a early, of what Tony told me, this was a early print trade paperback for this story. So, and it's pretty cool. It's got really cool art. It's very different, and you can even tell it's Warner Books because it's the old Warner Brothers logo on the bottom before the one we all know. And it's also got a quote by Stephen King. Probably the finest piece of comic art ever to be published in popular edition. Stephen King. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, and I think the next one, keeping up with the Bat train going, I got this cool Batgirl special, #1 from DC, and it's the best DC, one of the best DC logos, I think, in my opinion. It's the one with the stars and everything. I just generally love Barbara Gordon Batgirl, so anything Batgirl's really a get for me. And also, just so you know, DC Comics aren't just for kids. That's an understatement. So, then we're gonna jump into Marvel, and I got this cool Jim Lee cover of Uncanny X-Men. So it has Forge, who's this guy right here. It's got Wolverine, of course, Psylocke, and the guy, I don't know who that is in the background. I think that may be possibly Strife, aka the clone of Cable, which is like complicated to say, at least. But it's a really cool cover, really wonderful cover. Jim Lee does amazing stuff, and I like his X-Men stuff. So, the next one is actually a pretty cool one. This is from Chains of Chaos. This is from Harrison Comics. It has a character called the Rook, who's a character I have no idea about, and one more that I'm familiar with called Vampirella. And this is Chains of Chaos 3, and it's also signed by the artist Caesar Automata. I'm probably butchering that last name, but it is a really cool art style. It very much, for me, it reminds me a lot of kind of unique, kind of classic horror art from the 60s and 70s, I think. So, this one's a really cool one to have. I really like the character of Vampirella. There's always really good covers, and the stories are very interesting. So, while that maybe seems it, but it's not. So, Mythical Mountain, Tony and Steve, they were actually both, I think it was mainly Tony who was doing it, was doing some cool stuff. So, they put together these mystery bags in these mystery poly bags, so which is just full with a lot of modern comics. That's really cool. You get some really cool, so just judging, there's some really cool variant covers, which I really love variant covers. So we are going to be opening these. I'm going to be opening these on the video clearly, so we'll get into that real quick. So, we are gonna get into the first one. So the first one I'm gonna get into is the they call it the Detective comic book, just because it has Batman on the cover. So, let's get this open. And we'll check out the covers individually. Pretty good book stacks. So, we got a variant cover for, what is it? Detective Comics 106, which is a pretty cool, very, very, very sweet variant cover. DC and I think Marvel even. Both of these ones are going to be DC, so, but they do really, really wonderful variant covers. They got some good artists with them. This one is a DC Deceased variant. Really cool. I hadn't read the story. I know Tom. Oh no, this is Bendis. Bendis? Okay. I think, yeah, it's a DC Deceased variant cover, which is really cool. It's like their zombie event. Oh, that one's cool. This one's cool. So this one's a cool one. It's a crossover with DC and Dynamite Comics. It has Wonder Woman 77, so Linda Carter, and the Bionic Woman. That one's pretty sweet. That's kind of a cool variant. I kind of like that. I'll show that one to my dad, because he likes the Bionic Woman. Here's another. It's a sweet Batgirl variant. I really like the Batgirl design seen in this kind of post-rebirth kind of design. Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about this one, it's about a basically Scooby-Doo set in a post-apocalyptic world. It's kind of very cool, very unique, very different, I will say, which is funny. And we got Harley Quinn with, I think it's like a Santa, a Christmas variation. So, that's pretty cool. And it's also Aquaman, too, so that's when that was coming out. Oh, this looks cool. I think this may be I can't tell. This looks like a Jim Lee variant for Justice League, and that looks pretty sweet. Martian Manhunter. He's a cool dude. Oh, this one's cool. This is a really cool one. So this is a variant on Action Comics 1000. So this was a trademark issue of where Detective Comics got to 10,000 issues, which is pretty impressive. And it was also the point in DC Rebirth where where Superman gets his red trunks back, so he's kind of back to his normal ways. This is actually a really, really cool variant cover. And you also get the 80 years of Superman logo on the bottom, which is really good. It's a cool Nightwing variant. I don't know. Well, I know stuff about Nightwing, but I don't know anything about the current run right now. But it's a pretty cool variant cover. It has a very kind of neo, kind of like cyberpunk kind of feel to it, it looks like. I mean, that's at least my opinion. Batman 49, the best. That one's a pretty cool one. I think this is, yep, this is King's run. This is part of Tom King's run on Batman. Really good art. Ooh. Oh, this is a Detective Comics one. So that one's cool. So this is, I think, the main cover for the actual one that we saw, just the first comic. So I actually may have to read that one, because that it has to deal with the Spectre. It was like a kind of like god being in the DC universe. That's a pretty cool cover, though. Keeping the train going. Oh, it's the Arkham Knight. It's an Arkham Knight number 1005 Detective Comics. This is, I think, roughly when Tomasi began his run. And I guess unless he kept going on the run. But it's a pretty cool variant. Cool to see the Arkham Knight re-into the main continuity. Oh, so one thing you'll notice is I got this cover, and the one that I just barely showed off, probably, the other one, has this exact same cover. But it's a pretty cool Batgirl cover. Once again, these are mysteries, so it's like, I don't know what's going to be in them. Atlantis Sinks. We got Aquaman with Marith. And Aquaman, oh my god, she's like dragging Harley Quinn by her hair. It's crazy. I don't know, it's Flash, which looks really cool. It looks really cool variants. Can't really say any more about the Flash because I haven't read. Okay, so this one I have no idea. Oh, Terrifics. The Terrifics. This is like, kind of like some of the kind of lesser known heroes. I didn't read it, but it's a cool variant. Cool cover. the Beach Blanket Bad Guy Summer Edition. It's kind of cool. Dig it. Oh, this one's cool. Flash. It's pretty cool. And the World of Krypton. Oh, I think this is a tie-in to the TV show itself, which I have no idea if that's still going on or not. But basically, it's just a prequel series to Superman, which, you know, that makes sense to do. And I actually really dig this one. It's Wonder Woman 50, and it's a really, really beautiful art. So, yeah, so that was the first one. There was some cool comics, and I think there's a few that I'm definitely going to be probably reading soon. I just need to get bags and boards for it. So, I'm going to get into this one real quickly and see what we got. Okay, because we got the Batgirl variant, which is a good variant, but saw it already. Oh, Justice League Odyssey, and this is by Steph Seconds, I believe. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but he does some really phenomenal art, and this was one of the DC books he was on for a bit. He did the Harleen, the Black Label book, which was really, really good. It was a new defined origin, a good origin for Harley Quinn. Drowned Earth tie-in, Aquaman. I think this has to do with DC Dark Knight Metal, I'm pretty sure, which is a pretty cool variant. Oh, this is a surprise one. Justice League and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Not a bad oh, it's Justice League and Mighty Morphin. Okay, that's a pretty cool crossover. Like something that I would not expect to see Power Rangers and DC crossing over. Oh, this is a Black Label one. Batman the White Knight, which I think is like, it's just basically about a story, I think, of where the Joker's actually relatively sane, and he's like a part of the GCPD. I don't know too much about the story, but pretty cool cover, pretty cool art, I think. Oh, Batman. Oh, and this is Batman Prelude to the Wedding, which, if you read the comics, you know that didn't happen. Spoiler alert. Nightwing versus Hush, which is pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Pretty cool cover. Oh, another Wonder Woman cover. I think for Wonder Woman 74. I think it's the same artist as that previous issue, and that's a pretty wonderful variant cover, I think, in my opinion. I dig the art, and it looks like Wonder Woman's costume from the Wonder Woman movie. Here we got another cool variant cover for Action Comics 1000. So I'm actually gonna read Action Comics 1000 just because I never did read it. It's done by I think there's multiple stories in here. One of them's done by Michael Brian Bendis, who's currently doing the Superman run, which I've not read, but pretty cool. There's Frank Cho. I assume this is Harley Quinn, which he does really good. He draws ladies very, very good. There's Batgirl. I think this is just regular Batgirl cover from 33. It looks pretty cool. I dig it. Here we got Nightwing 45. Pretty cool. Wonder if it has to do with Scarecrow. Probably it does. I think the same issue of Scooby-Doo Apocalypse, which is funny. Oh, this one's cool. What's this one? This is Action Comics 1015. It's a pretty cool variant cover from story. I don't know. I think that's Naomi. She's a brand new character, which is pretty cool. Oh, this one, Batman Prelude to the Wedding. So this is the Barbara Gordon design that I really like, the costume. She's in the purple gear from Burnside, and she's fighting it looks like the Riddler. Yep, it's the Riddler. Pretty cool. And let's see, we got another Prelude to the Wedding. Robin versus Ra's al Ghul, which is pretty cool. And it's he's finding his grandpa. Damage, which I think was one of their, like, New Age heroes that DC did a while, which, like, not this one in particular, but there was one who was kind of like a Spider-Man-esque character. He didn't have spider powers, but he was a pretty cool looking character. I don't know anything about this character, so yeah. There's that. Here we have Deadman. He's a pretty cool character. I know him from the Justice League Dark team, but I think he's a pretty cool character of what I've seen of him so far. Like, seen him in comics so far. Long before Wonder Woman, Odysseys of the Amazon. I think this may have been a mini-series that telling, like, the history of the Amazons on Themyscira, which is pretty cool. Then we got, so that kind of Nightwing dealing with Scarecrow, which is pretty cool. And the final issue, which is a big one, it's a key issue from Mr. Miracle, done by Tom King. This is one of the series that I need to read. I hear he did a wonderful job. He did a really cool job on this series, and it's really, really good. But yeah, those were some of the mystery comics. Kind of a little different, but like of the stuff that I saw, there was a lot of good stuff, and there was a lot of beautiful variants, I think. We got a few duplicates, but that's, you know, if you do anything mystery box related, that's going to happen a lot. But yeah, I think it was a good comic haul for Mythical Mountain Mondays. So yeah, so that's it, guys. So remember, if you like the video, remember to subscribe and hit the little bell notification just so you can get notified when we upload new videos. And give us a like too, so you may see if this does well, or, I mean, I generally liked it, getting some cool covers and stuff, a lot of Detective Comics stuff, which I've been reading, so so we may see future content like that. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, or night,